We're about 2 weeks into the NFL season, approaching week 3, and we're talking about DJ Moore potentially not being a Chicago Bear for very long. And, DJ Moore being part of that big trade with the Carolina Panthers for the number 1 overall pick. Ryan Poles did that in 2023 or 2022, 2023. And in his first season, looked really good with Justin Fields. Had a career year with him, and in the last 2 seasons, it's been kind of lackluster, to say the least. And there are a lot of reasons for that. One being, I've bolstered up wide receiver room with the drafting Rome Odunze, and this year drafting Luther Burden, adding Olumide Zaccheaus, and a lot of factors in that sense too. But back when Justin Fields was here, DJ Moore was the only option for the wide receiver threat for the Chicago Bears offense. And now going into week 3 of this NFL season, we have a question to ask ourselves. Is the DJ Moore era coming to an end in Chicago? We're going to be answering that question more as the video progresses. But before that, what is up, guys? Welcome back to SoBackSports, and we're so back with another video. And we're going to be talking about DJ Moore in this video. And before we get into that, please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps a lot. It really helps to create content like this for you guys. So please do feel free to hit that subscribe button and comment down below. Is the DJ Moore era coming to an end in Chicago? And let's talk about it because we're getting a lot of rumors when it comes to this. If you look at the Windy City website, that's a great place to go for when it comes to news and updates. As of right now, DJ Moore has been listed as the wide receiver 1 as of right now because, Rome Odunze going into his year 2 and DJ being the veteran wide receiver in this wide receiver room, it has to be the wide receiver 1. I mean, it makes the most sense at that point because you're paying him the contract, which I'll get into in a little bit. And he's going to be definitely that placeholder right now for Rome Odunze to eventually take that wide receiver 1 spot. And now that in the last 2 weeks, Rome Odunze has been showing a lot of growth as a wide receiver, leading this entire team in passing touchdowns and whatnot, and showing the growth that we hoped he would be showing in year 2. And developing that chemistry with Caleb Williams as well. So DJ, not having that significant role is kind of falling to the background a little bit because, you're trying to eventually get Luther Burden involved. You're trying to get Colston Loveland involved with Cole Kmet. And at this point right now, DJ is not necessarily getting the touches and the reps that he kind of needs when it comes to being that number 1 wide receiver at the moment. Can that change? Absolutely. This is way too early right now to kind of make a big assumption on his production, but we're just going based on what is happening so far and what it's looking like to be trending towards in Chicago. So if we take a look at his contract as of right now, he got paid $110 million over the course of 4 years with a $20 million signing bonus. And as of right now, he is a cap hit of $24.9 million. And, that's a lot of money going into this season, especially for a player like DJ Moore's caliber that only has 8 receptions for 114 yards, which, to be fair, he is averaging 14 yards per reception right now, which is really, really good. I mean, obviously not great. I mean, he's leading the league. I mean, no, he's 39th in the league when it comes to yards in terms of a wide receiver, and 56 when it comes to the average yards per catch. And if you look at his stats when it comes to his previous years, he had a career year in Chicago in 2023 with 1,394. So essentially 1,400 yards almost. And last year he almost went near 1,000 yards with 966. And in 2025 currently is on 114 yards. And the thing is, this year, it's really hard to really gauge how good DJ Moore can be when it comes to this offense because he's not getting necessarily the bulk of the receptions from Caleb Williams and this offense. And I think that has a lot to do with Ben Johnson still trying to see what he has in this offense. He was able to do a lot when it comes to, seeing in training camp, but this is not training camp. This is the regular season. The things are going to change. The defenses and the schemes and whatnot, things will change. And it looks like Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze are starting to get that chemistry together to be the QB1 to wide receiver 1 tandem. And, we saw last year with DJ Moore, I'm being a little bit unhappy when it comes to, his role on the team. We saw when he would like leave the the field when the play was still going on. He would look unhappy on the bench. And I know, listen, from a fan perspective, I like DJ Moore. DJ Moore is a good person. I'm not any will toward the person himself, but it's just more of the fact that, like, yes, you're on a team with a bunch of wide receivers. Like, you have to kind of, play with that and understand your kind of role in this. And then you're getting paid as well, handsomely too. And I think for how he's getting paid, I think Ben should definitely utilize him more. And I think they will. It's just, I think the offense is just really trying to figure out what they're really looking for in terms of an identity. We saw a little bit of that against Detroit, even though it was a complete blowout. I think more time is necessary for Ben to really get a hold of this offense and the wide receiver room, because they don't even know what to do about Luther Burden yet at this point. We have barely seen him get any receptions too. And, over the course of 2 games, getting 8 receptions is not ideal, but I'm looking forward to seeing DJ get more involved in this game. But the real question now is, if we do lose a couple more games now and the bye week comes around and say we're like 1-3 or 0-4 at that point, is there a way that, or a possibility that the Bears are going to trade DJ Moore at the deadline? Because when it comes to, being down 0-4, we were down 0-4 in the season in 2023 with DJ Moore in his first season as a Chicago Bear. Obviously, completely different circumstances. You had a way worse team back then than you do now. But, with a lot of glaring holes when it comes to this team, when it comes to having a good D line, and the secondary having issues as well, that will take precedence and kind of trickle down into the offense taking a hit as well. Because if both sides of the ball have to be good in order for you to be even competitive, and that will kind of give some inclination towards like the front office to make a move, maybe, or save face at this point, which I don't think is necessarily a bad idea, but at the same time, I don't think it's really necessary at this point, because you're trying to give Caleb as much weapons as possible. And, you're trying to increase the value of DJ Moore right now at this point by trading him when his value is not as high as it should be with the contract that he has. Like, I don't think it's a necessarily smart idea to do so. And, with Rome Odunze coming up, an up and coming wide receiver, like, you trying to give the rock across a bunch of wide receivers at this point, and even tight ends, which I still am waiting to see more of going into this game, or this game against the Cowboys. And the only way I can see DJ Moore being traded or, being discarded from the Chicago Bears is if DJ himself comes out and says he wants out, or if Ben Johnson doesn't believe that DJ Moore fits his scheme anymore and isn't going to be a potential improvement for this team, which I doubt is going to be the case. But it all really just depends on DJ Moore's mentality when it comes to this game, because there are times when you see him on the field where his route running isn't as clean, isn't as crisp as it used to. There's no fire necessarily within him. And that's kind of a testament of the team as well when it comes to, putting it all out there and giving it your 100% when it comes to the game that's at hand. Even if you're down or even if you're up, you're always giving it your all. That sometimes is coming into question when it comes to DJ Moore. And I think if Ben Johnson continues to see that in his play, and there's not crisp route running, because remember in the press conference, whoever wants to practice hard enough will get the reps. That's what Ben Johnson himself will say, especially in the podium. So I think those are the only two ways that he gets traded. I don't think, like, from a perspective of a fan, I don't think he can get traded at this point, because his value isn't as high as a GM would want it to be. And I think it's a matter of time where Caleb will try to figure something out with Ben Johnson to kind of give him the rock, because DJ Moore is not the long-term plan, no matter what how you carve it, because Rome Odunze is there. Luther Burden, who you drafted in the second round, is also there too. and you have Colston Loveland as a receiving tight end as well. So that's your future core when it comes to your wide receiver room. And you also brought in Olamide Zaccheaus, which, to be fair, not a lot of money for him, but at the same time, you have to also feed him as well when it comes to this game. So all in all, perspective, I don't think that his time in Chicago is coming to end this year. Maybe down the line, sure, but I think DJ has a lot of potential in him still. I think that there's a lot to really look forward to when it comes to this offense, and I think calling it after week 2 is kind of a little bit too premature in my eyes. We have to really see and wait after like at week 5 what the record is looking like, because we have a team where we have to have a decent record at least. Like, I get it. Ben Johnson will take time, and will take time to kind of, grow with the growing pains as well when it comes to being your first time head coach and trying to run an offense and trying to get that offense to click with your second year quarterback who is learning a completely new system from what he was used to. And the rest of the offense, including DJ Moore, buying into that as well. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. I would love to read what you guys have to tell me. And when it comes to the DJ Moore situation, I personally don't think it's going to happen this year unless something crazy and insane happens, which I'm not leaving out of the possibility for Chicago Bears. But let me know down in the comments what you guys think. Thank you guys so much for watching and tuning in for this episode. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. And as always, guys, we'll see you guys in the next one.